The Tale of Kung Fu Art.
In China, Kung Fu has long been regarded as a mystical, almost magical art form capable of producing warriors with incredible superhuman powers. The people of China have always been fascinated by these stories of Kung Fu fighters and their abilities, and they have passed down these tales from generation to generation. One such story is the legend of the Kung Fu fighter named Wu. Wu was an orphan who had been raised by the monks of a remote mountain temple. From a young age, he had shown an incredible aptitude for Kung Fu, and the monks had taken him under their wing to train him in the ways of the ancient art. As Wu grew older, he began to discover that he possessed a unique ability, the power to control the very elements themselves. He could summon powerful gusts of wind, create sheets of rain, and even manipulate the earth itself. With his incredible power, Wu quickly rose to become one of the most powerful Kung Fu fighters in all of China. His reputation spread far and wide, and people came from all over the land to witness his incredible abilities. One day, we received a message from the emperor himself. The emperor had heard of Wu's incredible power and had a special mission for him. A neighboring kingdom was threatening to invade, and the emperor needed Wu's help to defend their land. Wu accepted the mission and set out for the kingdom. As he arrived, he could see that the situation was dire. The enemy army was vast, and they had already begun to lay siege to the kingdom's walls. Wu knew that he had to act fast. He took a deep breath and called upon his power, summoning powerful gusts of wind that sent the enemy's soldiers flying. He then created sheets of rain that blinded the enemy soldiers and made it difficult for them to see. As Wu fought, he could feel himself growing stronger. His power was replenishing him, and he knew that he could keep it up for as long as it took to save the kingdom. In the end, Wu emerged victorious. The enemy army was defeated, and the kingdom was saved from destruction. The people cheered and hailed Wu as a hero, praising his incredible power and bravery. Wu continued to travel the land, using his powers to fight injustice and defend the innocent. He battled mighty dragons, vanquished evil sorcerers, and even traveled to other worlds to face otherworldly foes. Throughout all of his adventures, Wu remained true to his principles, never using his powers for personal gain or to harm others. He was a true hero, a symbol of the power and mastery that could be achieved through the practice of Kung Fu. The legend of Wu lived on, a shining example of the superpowers that could be achieved through discipline, dedication, and mastery of the ancient art of Kung Fu. His story continued to inspire generations of young people to take up the practice of Kung Fu and to strive for greatness, proving that the power of the human spirit is limitless. But Wu was not the only Kung Fu fighter with incredible powers. There were many others, each with their unique abilities and talents. One such fighter was a woman named Mei. Mei had been born with an incredible gift, the power of telekinesis. She could move objects with her mind, lifting them into the air and manipulating them with ease. Mei had discovered her power at a young age and had spent years honing her skills. She had become a master of telekinesis, able to move objects of incredible size and weight with ease. As Mei traveled the land, using her powers to fight injustice and defend the innocent, she became known as the telekinetic warrior. Her reputation spread far and wide, and people came from all over the land to witness her incredible abilities. One day, Mei received a message from the emperor himself. The emperor had heard of Mei's incredible power and had a special mission for her. A powerful sorcerer had taken control of a nearby town, and the emperor needed Mei's help to defeat him. Mei accepted the mission and set out for the town. As she arrived, she could see that the sorcerer's power was formidable. He had created an army of monstrous creatures, each more terrifying than the last. Mei knew that she had to act fast. She closed her eyes and called upon her power, lifting the creatures into the air and hurling them away. She then turned her attention to the sorcerer himself, lifting him off the ground and holding him in the air. The sorcerer struggled and fought, but Mei's power was too great. She held him in the air, manipulating his movements and forcing him to surrender. In the end, Mei emerged victorious. The sorcerer was defeated, and the town was saved from destruction. The people cheered and hailed Mei as a hero, praising her incredible power and bravery. Mei continued to travel the land, using her powers to fight injustice and defend the innocent. She battled mighty dragons, vanquished evil sorcerers, and even used her telekinetic abilities to stop an earthquake that threatened to destroy an entire city. As the years went by, Mei became a legend in China, a symbol of the incredible powers that could be achieved through the practice of Kung Fu. Her story inspired countless young people to take up the art and push themselves to become the best they could be. But Mei and Wu were not the only Kung Fu fighters with incredible powers. There were many others, each with their unique abilities and talents. One such fighter was a man named Lai. Lai had been born with incredible strength, the likes of which had never been seen before. He could lift objects of incredible weight, and his punches were said to be able to shatter stone. I had discovered his power at a young age and had spent years honing his skills. He had become a master of strength, able to lift massive boulders and hurl them with incredible force. As Lai traveled the land, using his powers to fight injustice and defend the innocent, he became known as the Strongman. His reputation spread far and wide, and people came from all over the land to witness his incredible abilities. One day, Lai received a message from the emperor himself. The emperor had heard of Lai's incredible power and had a special mission for him. A group of bandits had taken control of a nearby village, and the emperor needed Lai's help to defeat them. Lai accepted the mission and set out for the village. As he arrived, he could see that the bandits were well armed and well prepared. They had barricaded themselves inside the village walls and were prepared to fight to the death. Lai knew that he had to act fast. He rushed forward, his powerful punches shattering the walls of the village and sending the bandits flying. His incredible strength was too much for them, and they soon surrendered. In the end, Lai emerged victorious. The bandits were defeated, and the village was saved from destruction. The people cheered and hailed Lai as a hero, praising his incredible power and bravery. Lai continued to travel the land, using his powers to fight injustice and defend the innocent. He battled mighty beasts, vanquished evil warlords, and even used his strength to lift a massive boulder that had fallen on a group of villagers. As the years went by, Lai became a legend in China, a symbol of the incredible powers that could be achieved through the practice of Kung Fu. His story inspired countless young people to take up the art and push themselves to become the best they could be.